Welcome to Ogden, Utah for the 2014 Tournament of Champions. Here to bring you pickleball gold medal action here today, joined by Brian Staub. Brian, pleased to have you here today for this gold medal match.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to have a lot of fun calling it with you.
Well, we're sure to have a dynamite match ahead of us. So this is the Legends Championship, and a good duo here to start. It's going to be Yvonne Hackenberg and Hillary Merrill. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, they're both excellent athletes, and the nice thing about that is, as I alluded to you earlier, they have 3 national championships in paddleball. These gals can play. Pickleball's kind of an interesting game because as you start, you're real young, you hit the ball a lot harder, and then as you play the game for years, you learn how to take pace off, and you get a lot smarter. That's what you're going to see with those two. They're very, very smart. They know what they want to do with every ball, and they're going to be very precise.
You talk about 3-time national champions, a lot coming in, a lot of experience for those two. They're going to be squaring off against another good duo here in this gold medal game, and that being Luba. She gave us permission to just call her Luba. She's got quite a dynamite last name. And then her partner, Chi QE. Tell us a little bit about these two.
Yeah, but I was just watching them play, and it's the first time I'd seen them play together, and they're very good together. They understand each other's role. They're both very, very physical. They like to play the slow game, and they're very comfortable with the slow game and the dink. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. We're going to see who can take the air out of the ball and be a little bit more consistent. I think that's where it's going to end up.
Great way to finish off what has been a fantastic week. The Legends gold medal game coming up here next. Loud and clear. Hillary, ready? Luba? 002. Ready to start here from the Gullo Pickleball Grotto underway with service was Merrill. Boy, what a nice lob shot that time.
Yeah, I'm not so sure it was intentional, but it was great reactions, that's for sure. You're going to see this today. It's going to be a situation where they're going to try to hit a ball down with little pace, making the other person hit up or volley up. And once that ball gets up, that's when it's going to get hit hard. And that's what got happened. They played the point really well and ended up losing it on a shot with reactions. Good point.
Boy, and that was a really nice setup that time by Luba. Made a really low, difficult shot for Merrill, able to handle it though, and then actually on the return, Luba couldn't get it back, and so now 002.
Correct.
Going to be our service. And that time in the net by Merrill. So our first point of the match, scored by Luba and Chi. 102. Boy, that's a great service, isn't it?
The ball never came up. That's interesting. That is a very good serve. Interesting enough, the ladies' game has really evolved in the last year, and it used to be a situation where they were hitting the ball very hard, almost like tennis ground strokes, and now it's gotten very soft like the men's game. So I love to see this. This is where the game's headed.
I'll tell you what, you're just seeing some absolute sniper shots from Luba and Chi that are just getting over the net. Very low, difficult to play in return for Hackenberg and Merrill, and that's why it's a 3-0-2 lead right now. Of course, we'll explain that point. Sure. Obviously, the 3 from the serving team, the 0 from the receiving team, and then each team gets 2 service attempts before the side out. That was their second side out, so it goes over to Hackenberg and Merrill, and now 0-3-1.
So the interesting part of this is really who flinches first. And what I mean by that is that you're going to see people hitting balls, and then they'll get into a little dink war, and that dink war might last a long time. And then somebody's going to try to hit the ball inside out or try a reaction shot and put it on somebody real quick. And if they hit it real well, they end up winning the point. If they don't, they end up beating it. So it's who flinches first a lot of times in these little dink points.
That's a fantastic point. And right now, seeing a lot of interesting strategies. Merrill that time, Luba and Chi wouldn't allow them to come up to the net, so what she do? She just sends a full shot to the very back, and nice answer right there by Luba and Chi, of course.
Yeah, Luba held that ball. She actually held the ball, moved. Hillary had to move the line to cover the line, and when she did, she held it and then actually pulled it in the middle. That was a great shot.
2-3-2 now. Our score, of course, this is a best 2 out of 3 in the case where Hackenberg and Merrill win. If it goes 2 out of 3 to Luba and Chi, then we'll play basically a tiebreaker since they came up through the losers bracket.
That is correct.
Boy, nice snappy returns right now. Play at the net. Oh, beautiful slam.
You know, interesting that Yvonne has chose to hit a couple lobs here, and I'm looking at the wind, and it's almost against her, which is going to make an advantage to keep it in, but yet a little bit harder to get some depth on it. And that's what's happened there. She hit one, the first one a little too long, tried to adjust, hit the second one a little too short. Tough to lob in the wind.
Yeah, for sure. We've already seen a couple of those lobs in this game where maybe the wind's helping to just keep it in. So it goes both ways, makes it really difficult on players, as that shot just barely missed getting over.
You know, it appears that Hillary and Yvonne are the ones that are going to push the action. They're the ones that are going to start the quick movement or hitting the ball harder if they get the chance. And Luba and Chi are going to very comfortable playing soft.
Yeah, and I would even say that right now it's all about shot placement for Luba and Chi, trying to really take advantage of gaps on the court, trying to make difficult returns for Hackenberg and Merrill. It's 2-4-1 now the score.
Right. Luba and Chi are going to take the air out of it. And if it's down, if it's up, they're going to hit it like anybody. But they're going to try to take the air out of it and slow it down, make them play a real short volley game in the kitchen.
2-4-2 is Chi with the return. Now play at the net, and that time Chi sent it too long. Yeah,
and Yvonne hit a great shot. She had a ball which was below the net, and that's the interesting thing about pickleball. As players get better, a high ball for a beginner might be a foot, 2 foot above the net, 3 foot above the net. A high ball at the top level might be 3 inches, 4 inches below the net, and they have the ability to roll that ball or to hit that ball on somebody quick, taking time away, and that's exactly what Yvonne just did.
As that service went long, out of play. So now second service for Luba and Chi. As side out now as Chi couldn't get the return back over, so service goes back now to Hackenberg and Merrill. 3-4-1 our score here. Boy, just some tough digs. Nice job by Luba, able to handle all those.
See who flinches first. And Luba tried to do a little bit too much with it, got up, Yvonne hit it down.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have those high shots, it's so easy to just slam them home and get the easy, not point, but break in that case. Oh, great volley action. That one hit the net. Of course, that's fair play, and then unable to return it over by Hackenberg. So second service now for Hackenberg and Merrill.
Yeah, as I look at this, I really think it's going to come down to how well Hillary and Yvonne force the action. If they do it effectively, I think that they'll be able to win. But if they don't, Luba and Chi have the ability to hit it soft and keep it down. Will definitely be effective that way as well.
Boy, and your point right there, executed beautifully, as they make a really tough backhand attempt by Chi that she can't get over the net, and now the first lead of the match for Hackenberg and Merrill at 5-4-2. Oh, what a shot.
Oh, that is a great job.
Put it away. That's an excellent job of really having your teammate there to help you out.
Yeah,
right?
The team has to move together. So as Hillary got pulled to the line, Yvonne had to go more towards the middle, but it left the court wide open.
Yep. Now play up at the kitchen. Nice backhand save there by Chi. Wow.
That was a great lob. Great lob.
That was a fantastic lob. Of course, lines in, and that one was certainly close, if not on the line.
It's a beautifully
played shot.
She hit it over backhand shoulder. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, and there's space here, outside the boundary. But even at that, having to get your body in the right position, be able to handle that forehand, just not an easy thing to do.
The third shots have been very good for both teams. They've both been able to take the air out of it or slow it down and put it in the kitchen and get the point started.
5-5-2 now our score is. Luba and Chi got off to a 3-0 lead. And now a foot fault. Did the foot enter the kitchen? Is that what happened?
That's correct. That's correct. You cannot go into the kitchen with your feet unless the ball's gone in first. And that's exactly what happened. She went to hit. And you know what? They've got a paddleball background. They're used to stepping forward or stepping towards the ball, which makes it tough because you can't foot fault that way.
Yeah. Of course, that kitchen in no volley zone, so you have to let it bounce inside that first 7 feet. That's the first white line you see across the net is now a side out play. Service goes back over to Hackenberg for the serve. 5-6-1. Opportunity for a slam, handled nicely that time by Merrill, and then able to save the point. Nice job.
That was a great point.
Looked like that might be deadly.
This is a pretty close game so far.
It is. Yeah, 6-6-1. Couldn't ask for any better way to start our gold medal game here. Nice dig that time by Chi.
You know, that point starts with Yvonne's third ball. She hit the ball and she stuck it. She hit it an inch, 2 inches over the net, and it was dropping down into the kitchen. Made Chi volley up, and the point was over at that point. That's great.
You've already mentioned a couple times the importance of that third ball. Of course, the service has to take a bounce and then the return has to take a bounce. So that third shot, to your point, so essential in really establishing the flow of that particular point.
Without a doubt, the game is won and lost at the net, and you're not going to win at the baseline. So you have to get the net, and you have to get there as a team, and you have to get there in unison. So that's the important transition shot, that third ball shot.
All right, so Hillary now to serve 7-6-2. Look at him just keeping them back on that baseline. Wow, that's just such a good backhand answer by Chi.
Well, interestingly enough, that point, Yvonne hit a great third ball. She hit a good third ball, but she had to hit a fourth ball. They made her hit a fourth ball, and that's where the error occurred. So great plan by Chi and Luba.
Well, it seems like the longer you can keep that other team from approaching the kitchen, right, from coming up to the net, the greater the advantage.
I would absolutely agree with that statement.
Lob. Boy, beautiful teamwork that time as Merrill goes back to save it. Wow, what a great point going on right now.
No, that was a great point.
Fantastic. That one looked like Luba and Chi may have had them on the lob shot earlier. Hackenberg able to save, Merrill saved it, and then that continued on as Luba and Chi give each other a nice hug after a well-deserved win there.
Yeah, the lob's been very effective in this game so far.
Yeah. Well, it's a great way to keep your opponent honest, right?
Absolutely. And they all want to get up on the kitchen line.
There was not necessarily a lob, but one intended for the backcourt as she tried to get the backhand.
She hit over a backhand shot as well, so she had to hit a backhand.
Yep. Opportunity for the slam and taking advantage as Hillary Merrill extends the lead now, or excuse me, that was a side out. My apologies. So 7-7-1 as the service goes to Hackenberg. And an unforced error, boy, so key in a game like this. You can't let those plays happen.
Well, when it's all said and done, when you look at the match at the conclusion, you look at it and go, was it the winners that won it, or was it the errors that lost it?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the majority of the time, it's the errors.
Well, and really, this has been a pretty error-free game. So that one very, very key as it gives the lead to Hackenberg and Merrill.
So now, Luba and Chi trying to move to the net.
And another one, and she knew it immediately, didn't she?
Yep, she did.
Boy, it was set up for that slam so beautifully, and she just came up looking to drive it home and stepped right into the kitchen without letting it bounce.
That kitchen gets in the way. And interestingly enough, the tennis players, we don't have a no volley zone, so you can go up there and hit as hard as you want.
Well, I don't know if you could hear, but someone from the crowd yelled "wrong sport," and she just got a good chuckle out of it. This is one of those truly gentlemanly games, right? It's great. Players can call their own outs, their own fouls, faults, and
it's competitive though. I love the competitiveness about the sport. Again, Chi and Luba were trying to transition to the court, to the net, couldn't get there. Hillary and Yvonne kept hitting balls deep, kept them and making them hit 4 and 5 balls on their process to get to the net. Yeah, well, and it was a great place shot by Hackenberg that time. It's just split, and Luba and Chi is now a side out. Service goes back to Hackenberg and Merrill. Hillary Merrill with service 8-7-1. As that shot was long. So, but look how the point was transitioned. Hillary stepped up there on the center line, and she hit a serve within an inch or two of the center line of the person receiving. She was trying to get Chi to hit a backhand. She actually moved around the backhand, hit a forehand, and caused an error. So the serve by Hillary was a great serve. Excellent, good point. Of course, right now we'll go ahead and take a second and thank our sponsors here at the Tournament of Champions, Pickleball Inc.,
Pickleball Now, excuse me. They are a great sponsor here this year, as well as the American Dream Foundation and Send Out Cards, all huge sponsors of the 2014 Tournament of Champions here from the Gullo Pickleball Grotto in Ogden, Utah. Nine, 7-1. Now our score is back in action. Hillary Merrill with the service. Oh, a tough shot that time, able to be fended off by Hackenberg. Trying with a lob again. Boy, nice response that time to the slam by Chi. Oh, another tough dig that time. Lob too long.
Points don't get any better than that. That was a great point. And I like how it resets, meaning that one person will get the advantage at the net and the other person will be able to take the pace off, get the ball down, reset the point, and they'll start again. That's a great point.
That's fantastic. I mean, even in that one point, you just see a couple different paces at various times and makes play so difficult. Is, boy, just another sniper shot that time by Luba. 10-7-2, so a game point here on the Hackenberg service. Of course, our first game here, best 2 out of 3. Chi can't get it over the net, and that first game goes to Hackenberg and Merrill as they take a 1-0 game lead here in the gold medal match.
You know, that was a great first game, and Hillary played great, but Yvonne just played, especially in the last 5 points. She had the ability to get the ball down, and she was hitting it hard and getting it down consistently. She played really well. They both played well. That's a great game.
Pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports in the world, and the USA Pickleball Association is proud to promote that growth and development on a local, national, and international level. The association will continue to provide the infrastructure for the development of the sport through promulgation of official rules, sponsoring and sanctioning tournaments and clinics, ranking players, communicating with its members, and the training of all levels of players. For more information, log on to www.usapa.org.
All right, game 2 underway as Luba with the service. 0-0-2 here to start as that one left short and a side out service over to Hackenberg and Merrill. Of course, in that first game, Luba and Chi took the 3-0 lead. Hackenberg and Merrill fought back, won the game. Now if they win this one, they are the gold medal champions, as that time Merrill couldn't get it over.
Second serve. 0-0-2.
Hackenberg now with the second serve. Boy, nice job fending that off. And we've seen that a couple times, just hitting the top of the net, not able to get over. First point of our second match.
Another thing you can look at in these transitions is how well teams return serve, how deep they hit the return. Not necessarily with a lot of pace, but depth is really important because it makes that third ball so much more difficult.
Case in point, man, we've got a fortune teller right here. That time, that return kept them back and set up a really nice smash shot that time by Luba. 0-1-1 now the score. She knew it immediately, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luba's missed 2 backhands in a row in that middle, and
0-1-2.
she didn't miss a lot of shots.
Again, trying that lob. It was friendly to him in that first game, as Luba missed that one wide and a side out. Talk about the mental aspect of this game, as we have a couple of unforced errors, and Luba that time kind of gave herself a grimace.
Yeah, I tell people that I think the game is 60-40. It's probably 60% physical and 40% mental. And at times, when the points get to be 10-all in the third game and things like that, it can be very difficult. And then, excuse me, that's a great point. But and you see that, and that's why your folks are coming into pickleball that were athletes, like tennis players, things like that. Prior to, they're used to that setting. It makes it a lot easier for the transition.
Great point. You know, last year we were able to meet with and talk with a couple people, tennis players that have transitioned to pickleball or have even started teaching youth pickleball before tennis to kind of learn the fundamentals, because the games are so similar. But that last point, boy, going back, it was take you back to the playground, right? A little tea party going on, and 2-0-1 now, I believe.
Again, Yvonne is forcing the action. She's hitting a lot of balls. She's taking a lot of balls and not necessarily playing soft, but hitting them hard and keeping them down. She's doing putting a lot of pressure on the other team right now.
I was going to say this game has started off very differently than the first, because the first it seemed a little softer, right? But you're right. These are aggressive shots, trying to keep them from bouncing. Quick reactions is what they're trying to force.
Wow, look at those hands.
Oh, gee. Wow. And again, another unforced error. And tell you what, there were a couple shots where it looked like Chi was going to get the point.
Yeah,
or going to prevent the point.
It's fun because all four of these ladies know what they want to do.
Yeah.
They all know. It's not a surprise. They know what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. 4-0-1.
Again, Yvonne stuck another ball low, hard in the middle, causing an error.
Yeah, and a timeout here taken by Luba and Chi. We will take it with them here. 5-0-1, Hackenberg and Merrill. Resuming play here, 5-0-1 is a service from Hackenberg. And
hey, guess what? Big surprise. Yvonne hit another ball 2 inches over the net that landed, short in the court. She has really hit some great shots.
You're mentioning, 6-0-1. It's been 3 or 4 straight points under the Hackenberg services. That time, she and Luba excited that, hey, she might be human today.
That's right. That's the first ball she's missing, about 10 in that middle.
Yep. Boy, tough return that time by Luba. Able to get it, but then the backhand did her in.
It's interesting because what'll happen, you'll see teams pick on one player. And they really haven't picked on anybody in particular. It's been very even.
Yep.
But if I'm Luba and Chi, I'm probably going to make Harry hit some balls now because Yvonne's proved that she can hit the ball and keep it down with pace.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying Harry can't, but they haven't given her an opportunity.
Well, it's the thing of when your teammate's doing a lot of the work, right? It becomes very easy to maybe get a little passive, right, or not be on the edge of your game. That time, an absolutely dynamite kill shot by Chi as she sent it right at the feet of Hackenberg and got the service back, of course. Unable to take advantage there. It'll be now 0-7-2. As Chi sent that one directly into the net. Her immediate response, oh shoot. Knew it immediately. 7-0-1 and Hackenberg back in service. You mentioned she's just been a force today.
And she just hit another great ball. And that ball was maybe a little up, but it was almost on the outside line. She's doing a great job controlling the ball. I'd have to switch. I'd have to go with somebody else. They keep going Yvonne.
There you go. Hit it right on the hands of Merrill that time. That's a tough shot to take, but to your point, send it to the other person.
And by the way, you might get the same results. Hillary's a fantastic player as well, but you've got to give her the chance.
Yeah. Well, and even earlier in this very game, there have been times where they've gone to Hillary and she's done just that, right? Able to make the play.
That's a great shot.
Of course, things slowing up now as plays at the kitchen. Boy, now picking up. Wow. Talk about reaction. Oh, goodness gracious.
That was a great point. And guess what? The point really started twice, and in both situations, Yvonne stuck a ball. She hit 2 hard balls to reset points to get them on the advantage again. So real interesting. She's being very aggressive. She's got a lead now. She can hit the ball a little bit harder, not have to worry about making one mistake. She's doing a great job.
9-0-2 now our score. Now some dinking. Oh boy. Man, that's tough, isn't it? She had it lined up, it hits the net, and it's just one of those things.
And everybody says, oh, they hit the net. But you know what? If she wouldn't hit the net, the thing would have probably been a winner because she hit the ball very hard and it was very low on the net.
So now match point 10-0-2. that time paddle on paddle. She with a nice dig. Oh, wow. That'll do it. Wow. Hillary Merrill puts it away. 11-8 and 11-0 is Hillary Merrill and Yvonne Mackenberg, our gold medal game champions here at the Tournament of Champions. Brian, tell us your thoughts about this match.
Yeah, you know what? We kind of figured on the front side that if Luba and Chi could keep the ball down and keep it simple, they'd have a chance, because we knew that Hillary and Yvonne was going to push the action, and that's exactly what happened. More specifically, Yvonne started hitting balls harder as opposed to taking a lot of pace off and trying just to get in. She was hitting balls very hard. We're clearing the net by 1 inch or 2 inches, creating balls that were up, giving them a chance to hit winners off of that. So yeah, it was a great match. They all played very well.
Great match. As you mentioned, that seemingly a game of two different teams is Hackenberg and Merrill. Little passive to begin, but they certainly came out aggressive midway through that first game and would sail on to win the gold medal. Well, for Brian Staub, we want to thank you for joining us here for the Legends round of the Tournament of Champions. Again, Yvonne Hackenberg and Hillary Merrill are gold medal game champions in the Legends bracket.
Pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports in the world, and the USA Pickleball Association is proud to promote that growth and development on a local, national, and international level. The association will continue to provide the infrastructure for the development of the sport through promulgation of official rules, sponsoring and sanctioning tournaments and clinics, ranking players, communicating with its members, and the training of all levels of players. For more information, log on to www.usapa.org.
Here with the champions of the Legends division of the gold medal match here, the Tournament of Champions. Of course, Hillary Merrill and Yvonne Hackenberg. First of all, I understand you guys have played together for a number of years, 3-time platform tennis champions. Tell us a little bit about your familiarity and playing together, your history there.
Well, we got together playing national platform tennis in the 70s. And she had a little girl who was about 7 at the time, and I wasn't even married. And so that's about how long we've known each other. And now, obviously, we're in our 60s now. She called me to play pickleball about 5-6 years ago, and she said, I think you'd be good for this because the hands are important. And anyhow, we have always been good friends, and I think that's key to our winning.
You could certainly tell in that game there was a familiarity with you two, that you had played on the court before together, and how key that was is almost there to pick up your buddy. Yeah. Tell us a little bit, that first game you fell down 0-3 and came back and won, and then 11-0. What was kind of a key to kind of turning the tides here as things didn't quite get off on the right foot for you?
Well, with the two of us, we never feel like we're out of it, because if I start making mistakes, Hillary's there to lift me up. It works both ways, and so I never feel like we're ever out of it until the last point. And so that's what happened here. We were down a little bit, but we brought it back, and then we just fed on that. And so that's...
And at the beginning of a match, sometimes you're a little slow-footed, and you kind of analyze, how did you get down? We got down, I believe, because we weren't moving our feet. They were playing pretty well, but it was more a question of us not playing well than them playing great. So as soon as we started clicking, we started getting the points.
Boy, and you did. You guys absolutely had a fantastic run after falling down there early. Tell us, what are your plans coming up next? What's next for you two?
Well, we're going to the Huntsman Games, and that starts in October. And then after that, we go to the Nationals in Surprise, Arizona. And so that's in November.
Yes, and I want to say one thing about this tournament that's kind of cool. Yvonne and I both add up to 130. Most of the people we're playing add up to at least 10, 20 years younger than we do. So for us to win this, it feels really good.
That's awesome. Give us one more thing. Where are you two from?
I live in Corpus Christi, Texas now.
I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Wow, so awesome. Well, welcome to Utah. Hope you've had a fantastic trip as you guys gold medal champions.
Let me say this. Ogden, Utah has been so welcoming to us. It's such a beautiful town. And John Gallo has... to give these courts and be a part of giving these courts to Ogden is very lucky. So I hope more people come out and play pickleball in Ogden, because you've got an unbelievable facility here.
Well, thank you. That's great, and a great plug for the sport in general. And as they mentioned, these courts, of course, public use here at Ogden Park. Come on down, learn the game, and it's a game that can carry you for a long ways. Again, congratulations to both of you, champions of the Legends Division.
Thank you.